Guys, it's time for Breakthrough with Coach Lou. Coming to you live from Accelerate Life University, XLR8Life.com. Coach Lou will help you break through anything that's stopping you. Are you ready to get the motivation, the energy, the life, and all the success you really want and deserve? With no further ado, here's Coach Lou.
Welcome back to Breakthrough with Coach Lou, guys. It is Wednesday morning, ready to rock for you. Are you ready? I'm going to ask it again. Are you ready? Let's see it in the chat. Slide it up, guys. Are you ready for your midweek? And are you ready to find out where is this one thing that you say that I need, Coach? Where do I find this one thing? Well, I got bad news for you guys. You can't necessarily see it because a lot of times it's hidden in plain sight. Okay? Now, the good news is there's this brand new pair of glasses that they've developed. No, they're not those new Apple glasses. That helps you to see 80/20 vision. 80/20 vision, Coach. Is that really a good thing? What if I told you I have a brand new pair of glasses that can help you see 80/20 vision? And you're going, well, I don't know about that. But I'm not an ophthalmologist, so I'm not going to tell you if that's good vision or not. What I am going to say is it's easy to get a pair of these 80/20 glasses. Would you like to try them on and find out what they are going to open up for you? Okay. What if this pair of glasses would filter out clutter and overwhelm out of your life? Like sunglasses filter out glare and sun, and computer glasses filter out the blue light from the computer. What if this pair of glasses, you put them on and you said, oh wow, all the clutter and overwhelm is gone. Now I can focus. Wow. Okay, I got a little story for you. Back when I started Breakthrough with Lou, it started on the drive-in. When I lived across town, I was teaching boot camp at our studio, and I'd get up really early in the morning because it was like a 30-40 minute drive to get in, and I would go live on the drive-in to get this starting. And it was great. It was early in the morning. Hey, I had a long drive, may as well do something productive in the process for myself and you. But the challenge that I had was reaching multiple audiences, let alone anybody being awake at that hour. There were some. Being able to interact. Number one, I'm driving, so I can't be messaging and responding to messages or really paying attention to the messages. Okay. And then lengthy processing times to get the message out there and, set up on the secondary, like for the podcast, or actually the podcast didn't even start back then, for, the Breakthrough with Lou Live or any other training videos. It was just a very lengthy, clunky system. Okay. So my one thing in that situation was to design a system that would create the stream, the recording, the audio from one place seamlessly. Okay. And then the goal was to have the studio software stream and record to a specific point to ease the implementation and into the process, into simple steps that could be repeated every time to get the same result. Instead of, I did it on my phone this time, I filmed it on the computer the next time. It was like, how do I implement a scenario that just goes right on down the line, and boom, here it is. Now, it's not totally automated to the point where this isn't still a fair amount of work to bring you Breakthrough with Lou. Okay, it doesn't automatically publish it to a RSS feed for the podcasts. We still have to process this through our software and everything to pull the audio as opposed to the audio and video and so forth. But it's so much easier than when I started. So that one thing was finding one process to be able to broadcast everywhere I wanted to broadcast, be able to take the audio from the same broadcast, take the recording from the same live broadcast so it can be recording and live at the same time. What does this have to do with me, Coach? Everything, because that one thing makes a difference. Now, you might be trying to streamline how to get 3 kids of 3 different grade levels to 3 different schools each morning. Okay, that might be your thing that you're going, I need to find the one thing that's going to make this happen. Okay, so what this one thing involves with this pair of 80-20 glasses is, the truth of the matter is, when you are getting something done or you're accomplishing, you're getting the, in the processes, 20% of the activities you do produce 80% of the results. And then there's the other 80% of the activities that produce only like 20% of the results. And you're like, oh, that's pretty disappointing. I do all this for this much result. I do this for this much result. Yes. Yes. And yes. So the biggest thing to do is focus more on that 20% chunk to get you the 80% results. Okay. This one thing, this elusive one thing that you need in any given situation, whether it's your relationships, your finances, your business, your parenting, your goals, your physical fitness, you'll find that this elusive one thing is the one thing that gets you moving in the first place. That's a good sign you're on track, is to finding this one thing. It gets you moving in the first place. Okay, this one thing gets me excited. It gets me to actually get up in the morning. It's the one thing also that gives you the majority of the results. Okay, I'm not saying there's not multiple actions to getting something done, to creating something, to everyday life. There's not just do one thing and you're done for the day. It's not a one and done, but there is that 20% that gives you the 80% results. Okay, number 3, this elusive one thing is the one thing that fulfills your need for a powerful why. Okay, why do I want to take my kids to school in the morning? Well, because they need to get there. Okay, but you could pay somebody else to do it. You could put them on the school bus if that's available. You could put them on a city bus if there's no school bus available. But when you think about it, well, they're only kids once. I want to spend time with my babies. Oh, this fulfills your why. Okay. So the one thing that it is also, it has to be sustainable, that you can live this one thing. Okay. There's one thing, when it comes to fitness, the one thing is I need to get outdoors and exercise. Getting outdoors gives me all this result because I actually do it. I love it. I'm doing it because I want to be healthier. And wow, yeah, I can do this. I can go for walks or jogs or even do an outdoor yoga by the lake or something much better than I can going to the gym. I don't like the gym, people will tell me. Okay, well, that's very possible. If I didn't have my own little private gym, I think I would probably not go to a big gym. I'd probably do something at home. I'm not a big fan of the big gyms myself. Although if I'm traveling or something, sometimes it's a nice change. I'm not an unfan of them, but I don't want to stand there and wait for somebody else, or somebody left a machine dirty, or, all that stuff. It's like, is it sustainable? Well, it's really sustainable for me to go run in the woods unless we have a hurricane. Where I run, when we have hurricanes, trees come down. So that's off. But these are the things. So I'm going to review that again. This one thing meets 4 needs here. It gets you moving in the first place. It's something that juices you up enough to actually get you to take action. It gives you the majority of the results towards what you're going for. It fulfills your why. Why am I doing this? And then it is something you can sustain and do on a routine basis. Okay? There's, hey, I want to lose 50 pounds. All right, we chop off a limb. That's not sustainable. It's one thing you could do, and it would give you massive results. Your weight would go down immediately, but you really want to be without a leg just to weigh better on the scale? I know it's a silly example, guys, but that is the kind of mindset that once in a while you're fighting with. I want this right now. I want it done, but is it sustainable? Can you continue to do this one thing with its little sub-baby other things that go along with it, but the one thing that gets you that 80% of the result. This is the one thing we're talking about. When I'm talking about the one thing, it is going to be that thing that is going to be that 20-80. At 20% of the time, 80% return. That in itself is going to declutter and take all the overwhelm, not all, but most of the overwhelm out of whatever project or life you're doing. Whatever you're doing, it's going to take this away. How cool is that? Okay. Now I'm going to teach you how to put this into effect, guys. I want you to make a list of the top 3 or 4 things today, maybe right now. If you're watching me on a replay, you can pause me. Make a list right now of 3 or 4 things you think could really move that needle towards your outcome. These are 3 or 4 things that would really make this happen. I want to make an extra $100,000 this year because we're going to buy a house and I need that down payment, and the place we're going to buy needs to be fixed up a little, or something like that. So you got this set in place. You know what you want. Now, what are 3 or 4 things that could really move you towards that? Okay. Driving by the house once a day and looking at it and going, oh, I wish I lived there. Maybe do it a couple times for visualization, but that's not a needle mover. Going every single day and, calling on 3 or 4 or 10 more clients to get that much more business in to get your financial goal, that is a needle mover. And that might not take that much time. You might be able to do that from your phone or Zoom calls. It takes you less than an hour a day. And, out of 4 or 5 contacts you make every day, you make an extra $1,000 or something. You're going to get there a whole lot faster than oming in front of the house. Just saying, oming can't hurt, but you got to find that 20-80. Okay, so 3 or 4 things that would really move your needle towards that goal, that outcome you're going after. Then choose the one that matches those 4 needs the most. What is the most powerful? What is that 80% return on the 20% action? Now, you might get 90% return on 10% action. More power to you. You might only get 75-25. Guys, this is not strict science. It is and it isn't. It's not strict science that you sit there and do the percentages and go, oh, that was 82% and 79% return and 21 effort. No, that don't work. That works. Okay. So the other thing I want to remind you is that this key to get started on this is to ignite it with massive action. You can't go, okay, I decided I'm going to do this and I'll get to it Monday or next month or next year. Now, the actual action itself, you might not be able to take advantage of till Monday. Maybe it's applying for, a loan at your bank to start your business. Now, these days, half the time you can do it online, but maybe that's when you got to go to the bank for and you can't do it till Monday morning. Well, all right, I'll start Monday. No, maybe it's Friday night. How about getting your financial statements together? How about getting ready immediately? Go, hey, they're going to need this, and this. Let's anticipate. Boom! This is where you go with the massive amount of action. There is the key to the one thing. That's what's going to fire up the one thing. You know what the one thing is, but it's like a car without a key. You've got to turn the key. If you don't have the key, you're not going to drive the car anywhere. The key is massive action. Hey, not bad, huh? So remembering, guys, we're not talking about a set it and forget it mindset, okay? It's not a one and done. You do this one time and you're done. This is an overall adding it to your lifestyle, adding it to what you do routinely. Okay. And don't forget the one thing, and I keep saying it has those little baby fish that swim along with it. Okay. And it's not the end all to be all by itself. Sometimes there is only one thing you need to do, but usually it's got some sub-modalities with it. But it is your framework, this one thing, your framework and your foundation to what you're doing. It's like building a building. Hey, it's going to be nice to have, brick facade on it, but until you put up the girders, even before that, until you have the foundation, you can have all the little baby facing bricks you want in the world, and you're still not going to get a building by trying to stack those on top of each other if you don't have a framework and a foundation in place for success. So that one thing is your framework and your foundation. Does this make sense? So, did you do it yet? Have you picked 3 or 4 things that could be your one thing? And then you evaluate them and you see really what's going to give you the best return, what's going to also energize you and make you feel good. I'd rather you do a 75-25 split than an 80-20 with something that you're going to totally love this process than the 80-20 being something you totally hate. You're probably not going to follow through. Okay, this is where there's a little wiggle room in here. All right, pretty cool, huh? All right, so Friday, we're going to learn how the biggest secret to how you actually make sure that you really do this one thing. You know, it's all fine and dandy to know it. It's even fine and dandy to be juiced about it and excited. You got to start moving, okay? You know, hey, I'm gonna do a Spartan race. I booked it. Cool. Spartan race day comes along and you're still at home and it's your wave time. Well, I booked it. No, you got to go run. You got to actually do it. Okay. All right. So make sure that you actually follow through and do that one thing on whatever routine basis that one thing happens to happen on. And we're going to do more trainings on this, guys. You might start going, I'm a little lost, coach. How many times a week do I do the one thing? What, you know, that's a lot of that's going to depend on what you're doing, the results you're getting. There's more to this, and we're going to go into it. Not today. Before I leave you today, and this, if you're watching a replay or if you are listening on a podcast later, this may not be the case, but today is Valentine's Day, guys. Why is that so important to the Breakthrough with Lou show? Well, number one, make sure you get your loved one something that says, I love and appreciate you today. Now, doesn't mean it's got to be extravagant. Doesn't mean it's got to be a huge dinner. You know, it really is a Wednesday, and you might not really be able to just have a big dinner and go out dancing all night long or whatever you do that night. But make sure you get something heartfelt. You know, sometimes a single red rose, heartfelt with a handwritten note, is better than 24 roses and a limousine to dinner if you're both going to sit there on your phone and text your friends or sit on social media while you're at this beautiful dinner. Okay? And I'm not against friends and social media or any of that stuff. What I'm saying is make sure that you do something to appreciate your loved one. You might say, I'm not in a relationship. Okay, well, appreciate your dog. Appreciate your kids, your family, somebody. Valentine's Day is, yes, it's a couple's holiday, kind of, but doesn't mean you can't show love and appreciation if you don't have someone in your life yet. Notice I said yet. You're going to get there if that's the case. And if you do have somebody in your life, and show them some appreciation so they stay, so you don't have to go get a new one. You know I'm a little sarcastic with this stuff, guys, but it is the truth. Grow it, whatever it is. And number 2, I got to remind you, don't forget, love changes everything. Have you ever heard somebody go, man, if every day was Valentine's Day, my birthday, our honeymoon, Christmas, etc., how happy everyone would be. You know, these days are amazing. Or Sunday going to church, or going to, golf outing. If every day included golf, the whole world would be happy. Not for me. I'm not exactly a golf player. But, if it every day included Spartan races, maybe I would look at that differently. Now, you know what I mean? See, that's the thing. It's not only today, Valentine's Day, it is about every day. Okay? So the truth of the matter is that everyone and everything, except for a total sociopath, responds to love. Go show some love today, and how about you show some love every day? What if you just from here on out did something to be loving and kind once a day, outside of your normal, your spouse, your boyfriend, girlfriend, your family? What if you just did something loving for a stranger? Just one little thing each day. It could be a big smile. It could be holding the door open for somebody. It could be buying the coffee for the person behind you. It could be, whatever it is, just something kind. And you think, well, yeah, it's going to make somebody feel good for a few minutes. What's as important as the person you might show that little act of love to? What's as important? There's a real truth. When you give love, you feel love. Oh, so if you're searching for more love in your life, give it and you get it. It's just that simple. You can't give love or do something loving and not feel a sense of love. Pretty interesting, huh? And it's easy. You don't have to go get somebody's approval. You don't have to grovel for love. You give some love, you've already felt it. Simple. Yes, so go for that one thing, guys. That might be your one thing. You might be like, oh, I'm going to show somebody love every day. I'm going to show my spouse more love. I'm going to love my kids more, my pet more. Whatever it is, it's a pretty cool idea. So be ready for Friday's show, guys. This is where we're going to make sure that you actually put it into effect, your one thing into effect. You follow through and you get it done and you habitualize it. Pretty awesome. All right, go do your homework, guys. Write down those 3-4 things. Pick the one. The good news is if you go down the wrong rabbit hole and that one doesn't end up serving you, you can always reboot. Okay, I'm not saying when the going gets tough, you go, oh, this don't work. I'm saying if something really is no longer serving you or something has changed so much that the one thing is no longer the one thing you need at that point in life, you get another one thing. That's a cool thing. There's always another one thing. So in the meantime, live with faith, energy, passion. Always live your dream. I will see you on the next Breakthrough with Lou and hopefully in Coach Lou Inner Circle soon too. Have an amazing day, guys.
Ready to take it to the next level? Tune in to XLR8Life.com for our live shows, encore presentations, life-changing courses, and live coaching with Coach Lou himself. As Coach Lou always says, live with faith, energy, love, passion, and always live your dream.